Hi, everyone. I'm Kyle Kramer, the CEO of the Earth and Spirit Center, and I'm joined today by Bunny Nash, one of our instructors. Hello, Bunny.
Good morning, Kyle. Good to see you today. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's always great to be with you, whether in person or on Zoom. And you always have great backgrounds, great places near home, I think, where you Zoom from. So I want to read a quote from this upcoming course that you're doing for our continuing meditation series. The course is Practicing the Daily Pause, which is going to begin in early April. And the course description opens with a quote from a beloved and now recently deceased teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh. We will be more successful in all of our endeavors if we can let go of the habit of running all the time and take little pauses to relax and recenter ourselves. And we'll also have a lot more joy in living. When I read that, preparing to speak with you today, of course, it just drove a dagger right through my heart because the great irony of running a meditation center is that it generally keeps you running.
It's stressful, yes.
A good bit of the time.
Yeah, it's hard to slow down in our daily lives, whether we're at a meditation center or in our homes or going to the grocery store, wherever we are. It's just not part of the culture that we live in.
Right.
And so it truly takes an intentional practice, I think, to cultivate that. And Thich Nhat Hanh invites us to slow down so that we're present and can reset, recenter, I think he says, in the moment and find joy in what we're doing. And I think what I've come to find is that that's not only important on a spiritual level. The research and science that we've learned over the last 20 or more years really shows that it's important on a physiological level. You know, all that rushing, we don't give ourselves the opportunity physiologically to reset, restore, replenish. And it poses continual stress for ourselves. And what I hope we'll practice in this class is looking at sort of the yin and yang, the beauty of the alignment between the spiritual and ancient masters' wisdom of slowing down and pausing, and then look at the science behind stress and trauma and why that closes our resilient zone. And
when that's your background, as I recall, I mean, you've worked with folks in stress and trauma for decades.
Mostly with families, youth and families who live in challenging situations, and found sort of through the practice of my work over many years that helping my students find a place where they could regulate and settle and come back to a calm place. It wasn't just about students, it's about all of us. And so, you know, I began to just be fascinated with the science about stress and trauma and regulation. And that explains why we get stressed and why it's difficult. And that the science of mindfulness and resilience helps us find ways to restore it. And I think that is a beautiful balance that I hope we'll kind of look on an individual level in our class, looking at our personal windows of stress tolerance and the things that close our resilient zones and the things that we can do like mindful movement and meditation and connection that will open our resilient zones.
Well, what I love about this approach is that it doesn't require you to be a Zen monastic somewhere. This is not practicing the resiliency 8 hours on a cushion a day. This is practicing the resiliency pause, so that this doesn't necessarily have to commandeer huge portions of your life. And as you said, you know, you would lose the balance between yin and yang and active and rest. This is something that can and must sit alongside a very active, engaged life, right?
Part of who we are and what we do all day, rather than just something we do at a time to say, okay, now it's time to meditate and get centered. That's a wonderful thing to do. But if that's the only time we do it, we're not getting the benefit of all the opportunities throughout the day that we can have in small moments.
Okay, wonderful.
To reset. Yeah.
Well, so this course, as I mentioned at the beginning of our recording, is part of our continuing meditation series. So it's largely intended for folks who have some familiarity with meditation practice, and this is a way to kind of deepen their skill set. Is there anything else you'd want to say about like the appropriate audience for this course? Are there other folks who could benefit?
I think anyone that has an interest in, certainly in the science of resilience, and the science, understanding what's going on physiologically when we're in a stressed state. And I don't, as you said, that you certainly don't need to be a master. We're going to be doing a lot of, I think, simple everyday things, and some things that, looking at our vagus nerve and looking at how we can understand our brains and our nervous system better, to use that with breath and in movement to reset ourselves. So if you have an interest in inclination in those things, as well as in the mindfulness side, I think it might be something you'd find enjoyable.
Well, and I have not taken this course. We've not offered this particular course yet, but what I can say by way of testimony to everyone who's watching this is I think you can tell skilled meditators or skilled meditation teachers, not necessarily by the content that they communicate, although obviously that's a criteria, but by the presence with which they carry themselves. And what I can say about you, Bunny, is whenever I'm in your presence, I can feel my blood pressure lowering. And so So I appreciate that. Well, I appreciate that of you and in you. Again, everyone, this class by Bunny Nash is called Practicing the Daily Pause, and it is going to be beginning. It's a 4-week course that starts on April 4th at 11 a.m. So you can take this course and head off to a nice relaxing lunch to pause in the midst of your day. You will find more about the class and the possibility to register for that on our website, earthandspiritcenter.org, and at a link that accompanies this video. Bunny, we're so looking forward to this, and we're so grateful to have you teaching. Thank you.
Thank you so much.